greatest in the world of sports. This is Chalk Them Up.
Do we have ESPN Chicago reporter Sahadev Sharma on the phone to join us?
We do.
Sahadev, are you there?
Yeah, here, guys. What's up?
How you doing? How was the game today?
It was, it was Cubs baseball. They won 6-3. Some sloppy play by the Pirates helped them out. A lot of walks, a lot of errors, even ones that weren't called errors. It was just a poorly played game by the Pirates. Something the Cubs were happy to see since they were able to take advantage of someone else's poor play instead of the other way around for once. Randy Wells looked great, 6 innings, only 1 run, gave up, was looking shaky early on, but got out of a jam, a baseball jam in the second inning, and, he's looked good since the start of August, so hopefully that continues and maybe he can lock up a rotation spot for next season.
Sahadev, I saw your tweet from earlier today. Was there actually the wave occur? Like, were people doing the wave at the Cubs game today?
Yeah, they were, and we were talking about it as we were leaving the clubhouse, actually, because we talked to Coy Hill about it, and he, in Chicago, we told him here in Chicago, you don't do the wave, and it's just like ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable, and he was thrown off. He's like, really? You don't do the wave here? I'm like, all those reporters are like, no, that doesn't happen here, so nobody in the press box was amused by the wave, and I was shocked to see it went all the way around. And I've been to a lot of games at Wrigley as a fan, and I've never even seen the wave that's attempted. And the fact that it went all the way around that early in the game, too, I don't know, maybe people are just that disinterested in watching baseball in Chicago at the moment.
You're listening to Chalk Them Up on WPGU 107.1 from ESPN Chicago Cubs reporter Sahadev Sharma on the phone with us right now. Can we talk a little bit about what happened in the last couple of weeks? Jim Henry leaving. What's your sense of how he treated players when he was there, how the organization handled him leaving in terms of the time of his departure?
As far as how he handled players, I thought he handled players well. I mean, who doesn't love a guy that gives out big contracts and no trade clauses? Players loved him. He wasn't as bad as some people want to make him out to be. He got some 3 division titles. He helped them win 3 division titles in a span of 8 years. His whole tenure, it was 8 years, 8 or 9 years. So that's great. That's the best Cubs GM ever, right? Who beat that?
Unfortunately.
So he, as far as how he treated players, that was great. As far as how it was handled, I go back and forth on this. If the decision was made, maybe he was told right before the trade deadline, July 22nd, I believe was the date that he was told. But if the decision was made well before that, Ricketts needed to act quicker, I feel. So something could have been done with a new GM in place and a game plan as far as the trade deadline and everything. But you know what? If it was late July when he was really decided, when Ricketts really decided that, then that's fine. The trades weren't going to happen with a new GM with 8 days, 9 days notice. So that doesn't affect anything. And I truly believe that he did have a hand in signing some of those big draft picks that they paid a lot of money for. Guys like Dylan Maples, Dunston Jr., in their first 2-round picks were, all paid a lot of money, and they all went down to the wire. So I've heard that Henry had a big hand in that. So
with Henry's departure, who are your top 3 replacements for him come next season?
Top 3 without any strings attached, without thinking, without money or anything. Epstein's number 1, Friedman's number 2, and 3. I'm not huge on Cashman. I'd be interested to see what Bean can do with money, but I'm also interested. I know that Ricketts. I know you said 3, and I'm naming way too many, but Ricketts loves the Red Sox model. So if Epstein's not interested, I wouldn't be surprised if on his list, Ben Cherington is his number 3 behind Epstein, Friedman, Ben Cherington. Because, who was Epstein, who was Friedman before they did what they did with the Rays and the Red Sox? They were assistant GMs. Look at John Daniels. He was nobody until Texas picked him up, and now he's built a great team there. So it's not everyone's going to think it's a big loss if they don't get an Epstein, a Cashman, a Bean. But if it's a guy like Cherington or Rick Hahn or Thad Levine out in Texas, those are all highly respected assistant GMs that could be the next big GM. Who knows?
In a perfect world, Epstein is the ideal fit, obviously, but I mean, who exactly do the Cubs want? Have they made any kind of indication at all who the replacement they might want to have in?
No, they've not, and I doubt we'll get anything leaked. They did a great job of not leaking that Henry was gone until the day of, and I'm confident that Ricketts has said it's going to be a private matter. He said when Henry was fired, he said, here are my qualifications, and it was, it sounded like an Epstein, a Cashman, a Friedman type guy, an experienced GM with a winning history that has decent background knowledge and, advanced metrics. But he also said, hey, this is the last I'm talking about this process until the GM is named. So you're going to have to be a real good reporter to get that info leaked. I don't think it's going to be leaked.